So Giorgi, hi. Happy to see you again. In less than 2 weeks, maib and Bursa de Valori Bucharest are going to host a big event. It's called Accessing International Capital Markets Forum, right? Let's talk more about this event and the scope of it and how what will it focus on.
First of all, you know that maib is exploring IPO. Now on the upcoming shareholder meeting, we will be approaching and asking our shareholders so that they let us do the listing on the international stock exchange. And I think I want to take a pause and explain why it is important for maib, for the business climate in the country and for the country as a whole. For maib, clearly any IPO on a reputable international market, that means better corporate governance, that means better transparency, better communication. Clearly people will be comparing us to the best of the banks in the region. So this is for the benefit for maib, other than the benefit of the share price, which I don't want to discuss right now. The impact to the country and to the business sector is that maib, being the largest bank in the country, will be acting as the flagship to integrate Moldovan companies into the international capital markets. We, through this type of events, which we did, by the way, last year in London, 1 month ago, about 1 month ago, we did do it in Bucharest as Moldova-Romania capital market bridges. Through these events, we attract most successful, most reputable international capital market investors who now start to understand why they should be investing in Moldova. And we will be putting Moldova on the map for the international capital market investors. So basically, when they decide to invest in maib, they will be familiar and taking the risk of the country. This is much bigger and will have tremendously bigger impact than the impact on maib and on maib's share price. The second point is about Bucharest and the opportunities that it gives to Moldovan companies. Bucharest is stock exchange is growing, it's dynamic, it has already reached $40 billion capitalization because of the pension managers asset managers in Bucharest. There is a constant capital inflow. So Moldova has unique chance whereby the bigger, deeper, more sophisticated market is ready to admit Moldovan companies on the market. And what this for Moldova means, any Moldovan company, as soon as it develops and tries to meet the standards, can access to the international capital market through Bucharest. So what we've learned is that after understanding how international investors think about Moldova and are more and more interested about Moldova and Bucharest Stock Exchange, then we also understand that many Moldovan companies also are interested to explore IPO. The event is designed this time to bring Bucharest Stock Exchange and market players in Bucharest, from Bucharest in Moldova, so that we explain Moldovan companies how they can get access to the international capital market. Well, we started to develop very good relationship with Bucharest Stock Exchange. Amazing people, they are very proactive, very welcoming. Again, Moldovan companies do really have unique chance to go to Bucharest. We are very thankful to them that they are helping with us, and they will be here with us on 12th of December.
The event will gather a big audience who is going to talk about the ways to invest, how to do it better, learn from each other. Can you talk more about the speakers of the event? Because this is a pretty impressive list, and the audience is eager to learn more about them.
Indeed. Well, we have the welcoming part of the event, which will be opened by the President of National Bank of Moldova, the Ambassador of the US and the Ambassador of the EU in Moldova. We will have head of Bucharest, chairman of the Bucharest Stock Exchange within the welcoming and speeches. We will also have head of EBRD Moldova, head of IMF Moldova. So they will give their perspectives why capital markets are important and why specifically Bucharest Stock Exchange is interesting or could be interesting for Moldovan companies. Then we have two panels. Panel number one will consist more with the companies or with the people who have IPO experience and who know the benefits of IPO. So they will give the first-hand experience of what are the benefits of IPO, right? Why the companies should be thinking on accessing international capital market. And I don't want to make it unreachable. I mean, the IPO can be done by large companies and by small companies as well. So this is potentially interesting for anyone. The second panel will be focusing more on technicalities of the IPO. So how you need to start preparation, what do you need to prepare for it. So this will be the combination of these two panels, which will explain the benefits and then explain the technicalities of IPO.
I see it's a pretty inclusive event because it's going to bring together people who are going to attend offline and also online. Can we talk about the organizing part of the event? How can you do it like inclusive for everyone?
We are working with the EBA and AmCham so that we coordinate it through our the audience, so that we invite everyone. And I would like to thank EBA for being with us from the very first steps on this event. Thank AmCham for the same, and we are getting to the customers and explaining that this will be beneficial for them to come and listen. So most of the corporate customers, I believe, will come and just be there, because I mean, the event is in Chisinau, so it's not very difficult to come. There will be online access to the event, and there is a link that people can register. And I understand if someone cannot make it or is outside of the country, they can register and watch the event online. But mostly, we expect that people will be there.
What do you think participants will take from this event? What they will learn and what will they go home with after this event?
Well, I think the most important will be that the corporate customers will understand that they can access additional source of capital through preparing to list their shares or their other financial instruments on the Bucharest Stock Exchange. This will be the biggest, so that the companies will know that it is possible for them to think towards that direction. The second objective will be that people will understand that listing of the shares have additional benefits. It's not only the access to money in such case, which is very important, but there are additional long-lasting benefits, such as improvement in the corporate governance, overall transparency, and so on. And thirdly, maybe they will also understand some technicalities, how this listing can be done, what they will need to start today in order to list, let's say, their shares in some medium-term period. So this will be the primary objectives of the listings. And of course, if someone is interested afterwards, maib always be there to explain this benefits in more detail.
What's in there for the company who decides to go on an international stock exchange, for the company itself and for the economy of the country?
Firstly, raising money, getting money to do their business. So the companies, when they grow, they need diversified source of funding to raise money and to invest it in the business. So the first, there is an access to get this money, to attract new investors, the first. The second big impact is that company starts maturing and complying with the very high standards of the governance, of the reporting, of the communication, which is beneficial for the long term for any company. And for the country, the more companies will get money and bring money in the country, the more companies meet the highest standards of the corporate governance and transparency and investor communication, the better is the country, the stronger is the country, more financially healthier is the country. So you will have the businesses. We know Purcari, who has done IPO, and Purcari right now is one of the largest, or if I'm not mistaken, even the largest wine company in Eastern Europe. So if you have many such companies through IPO, improving their governance, improving access to capital, bringing more money and more investment, of course, this eventually is the one which makes the country prosper. Right?
How do you assess this event being held during a pretty serious crisis economically and amidst the other crises we're facing with shortages and the war coming? What's the risk for the market, or what's the benefits, if any?
Well, I think the situation currently is, of course, not very favorable for any IPO if someone wanted to do the listing today or tomorrow, but we are not discussing the listing today or tomorrow. We are discussing how we are preparing for the future. And even technical preparation for IPO, even for maib, it is 6 to 9 months. But I think what we all want this war to finish as soon as possible. The EU candidacy is a predictability for Moldova and predictability for Moldovan companies, which is something that investors are looking for, and without which any IPO, or without predictability of the future, any IPO will be quite difficult. So basically, we are preparing for the future, and I wouldn't say that this is wrong time to start preparing for the future. Then the IPO preparation tactic has changed in the world. So firstly, people prepare and then wait for the market, as opposed to in the past when they were waiting for the market and then starting preparation.
The event is not long before the finish of the year, so I'm very interested to know about the plans of maib as a company and of yours as the chairman.
We at maib are going through the huge transformation, and for me personally, it's very important that we continue this transformation as planned with the people on board. Number one, you may remember that through this transformation, we are putting the customers at the center of everything we do. Throughout this initiative, there is a transformation of the branch network in the country. We basically changed the model of the branches in all the branches, and we changed the design of the branches in 24 branches this year. Next year, we will finish the transformation of entire branch network of maib. So all our branches in the country will be with new model, with new design, with new brand. But most importantly, this is new model, which is the customer engagement and how the customers are getting service through the branch. We have so many plans in digital. This year we did Google Pay, Apple Pay, tap to phone, whereby people can pay through the card. 2 weeks ago, we launched the first digital only card on the market with the full functionality. So this is the another innovation. We will be very soon launching 2 very important products, which I'm not going to say. And next year we have quite ambitious plans for the digital, both in retail banking and in SME banking. And plus to it, it is the ecosystem digital initiatives that we are doing. My first task next year is to continue this transformation, and to continue this transformation with the team. So currently, we are undergoing a leadership program of 60 of our managers with Stanford, which we designed specifically for maib. 60 of us went to see how the transformation happened in ING in Netherlands, and ING is one of the first European banks which started the transformation maybe 8 years ago. The way that we are going right now. So there are 60 of us who are going through this preparation together, and we will continue this transformation together. The first task is this. Of course, we will be doing and exploring further IPO, which we expect next year not to be unrealistic, but we will need to see together how the market evolves. But my first focus is transformation.